process, which will be an additional crime.
Riots, protests and looting have broken out in Minnesota as Black Lives Matter supporters congregate together in support of Daunte Wright, who was killed by a police officer on Sunday. On Tuesday, police had made more than 60 arrests as protesters took to the street to beg for justice. 26-year-old Kim Potter, a white woman, was charged with the fatal shooting of 20-year-old Daunte Wright at a traffic stop on Sunday, not far from where George Floyd died. She was released from county jail after posting a $100,000 bail and faces a second-degree manslaughter charge. BLM protesters have been calling for defunding the police since last May when George Floyd was killed in police custody, and this time the protesters have been out since Sunday.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! No peace! No justice! No peace! No peace! How could you stay?
Minnesota State Patrol Colonel Matt Langer has slammed any protesters who are breaking the law. He said, "The behaviours that we continue to see are unacceptable and we are not going to tolerate them. It is not acceptable and it will not be tolerated if you choose to do criminal activity and destroy property and throw objects and make it unsafe for people to come and exercise their First Amendment rights." Fox News contributor Kayleigh McEnany has condemned the protesters and says it leads to more deaths.
The bottom line is all of these folks who are defending rioting are in fact enabling a much more violent situation. National Review cited a study that found that in the 5 cities that where a viral incident with the police, a viral moment takes off and results in rioting, that they actually saw 900 excess homicide deaths. So this leads to death, to destruction, to chaos. And I would just say to all of these rioters and to those enabling it, just the words of Martin Luther King, who said, they are socially destructive riots. They are self-defeating, and I will continue to condemn riots and continue to say, my brothers and sisters, this is not the way. Let's follow in the footsteps of the great Martin Luther King Jr.
Each week, American History TV's Real America brings you archival films that provide context for today's public affairs issues.
In America, black people are treated very much as the Vietnamese people or any other colonized people, because we're brutalized. The police in our community occupy our area, our community, as a foreign troop occupies territory. And the police are there not to, in our community, not to promote our welfare or for our security and our safety, but they're there to contain us, to brutalize us and murder us, because they have their orders to do so. And just as the soldiers in Vietnam have their orders to destroy the Vietnamese people, the police in our community couldn't possibly be there to protect our property because we own no property. They couldn't possibly be there to see that we receive the due process of law for the simple reason that the police themselves deny us the due process of law. And so it's very apparent that the police are only in our community, not for our security, but the security of the business owners in the community, and also to see that the status quo is kept intact. And it's the people that will cause the revolution, and it's the people that will cause the change in the country. The Black Panther Party is simply the vanguard of the revolution, and we plan to teach the people the strategy and the necessary tools to liberate themselves.
No more brothers in jail. Off the pig. The pigs are gonna catch hell. Off the pig. No more brothers in jail. Off the pig. The pigs are gonna catch hell. Off the pig.
The focus of all of our activities is Huey P. Newton and the need and the demand that he be set free. because we feel that the only way that Huey can really be taken out of the hands of those who are relentlessly trying to kill him, you see, is for the people to become aware of what this is all about.
Revolution has come. Off the pig. Time to pick up the gun. Off the pig. Revolution has come. Off the pig. Time to pick up the gun. Off the pig.
Black Panther Party made a coalition with the Peace and Freedom Party, which is primarily a white group. We see it necessary to fight on two fronts. We must liberate the colony as well as stimulate revolution in the mother country. I think that the revolutionary students played a great part in saving America. If it were not for the white students, the Black Panther Party would react to the racism in the country and therefore respond with racism. White students have been very interested in the past of the foreign policy of the United States. They're demanding that the United States withdraw from Vietnam, stop brutalizing the Vietnamese people, and we feel that the white students should relate and pay more attention to the colonized situation here of the blacks first, because after all, this is home.